Alright, hello everyone. So, in the chill season trailer, we got 5 alternate kits and 3 new weapons, but we knew there were going to be another 5 coming. And now we have 2 of them. I'm not quite sure when we're going to get the others, but I do want to talk about them. And today, we got the AERO spray and the bucket deco. And I'll start with the AERO spray because it's a bit simple. We knew it had Booyah Bomb from the Splatoon 3 Direct. I talked about it before in a few of my other videos, but now we know the sub. It has Sprinkler. So, the good news is this thing will actually be really good. In Turf War. In Turf War, this will be very good, obviously. It can paint very well. The Sprinkler is somewhat useful in Turf War since paint matters more. And mainly, Turf War meta, for those who don't know, are just about survivability specials. Crab and Booyah are really good. We've been seeing a ton of Splash in Turf. But now there's another painting weapon with the survivability in Turf for the Booyah Bomb, so I think we'll be seeing a good bit of Splash of AERO sprays, especially as Splash is toned down. Will we see it in ranked, though? In competitive play? It does have Booyah spam, but it has a similar problem to Reflux, where it can't really apply much pressure since the main weapon is quite weak, and it doesn't have a sub-weapon that can poke enemies. Sprinkler is still better than Curling, since at least you're going to get special output, and when the special output is when you can kind of move, and AERO spray is at least a little bit faster. So maybe I could see it for a little bit, but even if I did, I think it would be temporary until something else that can get Booyah really fast comes out, like a heavy spotlight, or a normal splatter shot, or a dually, or a splatana. So, it's okay. It's a fun kit, at least. It leans into the painting style, and I like Booyah with it. I think I'm mostly disappointed because I feel like, well, because Booyah's on that kit, we're not going to get Burst Booyah back, and Burst Booyah was the best kit AERO spray ever had. I guess Burst Missile could technically be better, but if missiles aren't reworked, that playstyle is not going to be as fun. Booyah kind of lets you be a little bit more aggressive and has some cool combos between the special and the sub-weapon. So, not really the most relevant kit. It'll be turf meta, though, and it should be fun if you really like AERO spray. The kit everyone's losing their absolute mind over is this one. My E-Liter kit happened. Just, not on E-Liter. No, all jokes aside, Angle Shooter Zipcaster. By the way, I love that the deco here actually has unique color scheme. They seem to be making the second kits more distinct with that, which is a hope of mine. So, I'll say that I like the bucket kit in theory. Here's what I mean by that. In theory, Line Marker should be really good with bucket, because it does 2 things bucket really likes. It combos. There's a 30 damage, obviously it can combo. Not if they have a sub-bomb defense, but, you know. And it also locates people. And obviously, a bucket can take advantage of located opponents better than most people. Now, the problem is Line Marker is the worst sub in the game. The only sub even remotely close to it is Toxic Mist, which is also terrible. And it's just not great. It's 45% of your ink, which isn't a lot, but the reward of this thing is so tiny. And, like, you could say, like, you could use it in follow-up kills, but if you 70 someone and then try to follow up with a 30, even with no bomb defense, if they heal a tiny bit, that's not killing. And while it can combo, it can't really combo around corners. I think Torpedo would have been a better pick, but here's the positive. If this sub-weapon gets buffed, I think it'll be really, really good with it. Like, if this is a sub-weapon on par with something like an Ink Mine or a Beacon, not even the lethal bombs, I think it would be a really good combination. Like, it could paint your feet and that could help you with mobility, it could deal more damage, they could make it cheaper. Anything like that would be good, or making the tripwire have more impact. Because it is a cheap and easy sub for bucket to use, which is nice for it. But I think the sub-weapon itself just needs to be a little bit better. I don't think this is the doom and gloom people say it is, mostly because, again, if they buff the sub, it does make sense. The one thing it doesn't do is paint. Like, it still doesn't paint. And for bucket, that means getting it special is going to be harder. And that sucks, because the special it has is really cool. It's Zipcaster. Now, in a Metafy session, I brought up why Octobrush does really well with Zipcaster, especially compared to something like Luna. And part of the reason is Octobrush can take advantage of Zipcaster's wall jump, this thing, where it can jump up a wall and then attack really easily over the ledge, as you can see here, which allows it to use cover or high ground to pressure enemies. Now, Bucket can do that, but even better. Bucket can do it from below and above, and the jump for it is really useful. And then again, you get to zip away when you're landing from the jump to get rid of the vulnerable part. The other part about zip that's really nice with SLOSHER in particular is it can combo with it. You have 70 damage here. Aha! Explosion. Can do 30. It can do a little bit less than 30 though, so the combo is going to be very tight if you explode near someone, but you also do 60 if you pass through somebody. So it does have combo potential. It's not perfect. I think the zip near explosion damage being a bit less than 30 is a bit unfortunate, but for the most part it does have some combo potential. Mostly though, zip allows buckets to be able to dive people very easily because buckets like to be able to kind of jump on people and get quick kills on them. And so I believe having a special that allows you to do that from anywhere across the stage, especially with some of the weaker map design, is really useful for Bucket because that's been a problem with it. And compared to Tri-Strike, which, while a good special for it leaves you a little bit vulnerable, Zipcaster lets you go in much more aggressively. You do still have to worry about the recall, but it's a much more avoidable problem than having all this end lag of throwing the strikes. So, as for Bucket, what I'd like to say is the pieces are there. Like, the sub and special have good synergy with the main. I can totally see what the devs are going for. It gives it a kit that's better on more flat maps, as well as a more versatile, or sorry, not more versatile, as well as a more aggressive kit. It's two situations that Bucket is kind of needing something new in. That stuff the vanilla Bucket kit, which is more well-rounded, doesn't cover as well. So I like the direction the devs are going for. The problem is that both Line Marker and Zipcaster are undertuned right now. If this kit comes out and Line Marker is untouched, Zipcaster can get away with being untouched and it'll be okay on Bucket. But if it got buffs, like particularly in duration, it'd be better. But if Line Marker does not get buffed, this is going to be a bit of a problem. The Line Marker needs to get buffs too. It cannot stay the way it is. And I mean real buffs, not 30 damage to 32. I mean actual, like, bigger buffs. I think if Line Marker and Zip can be buffed, that's where this kit really shines. And from what I can tell from how the kit's constructed, the devs seem to have a good idea of what Bucket DECO wants finally. But the pieces that work for it are currently just way too weak. So I am very much hoping that it gets buffed. But yeah, that's going to be it. I will say I'm going to be on a bit of a vacation starting the day after this uploads. So if there are new kits, I will probably have to record my thoughts on a old microphone setup some of you guys might be familiar with. So I'm sorry if my voice will sound off in those recordings. But I will try to get to them as soon as we get new kits released. Just keep in mind if it takes a little bit. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought, especially on Bucket DECO. I'll see you guys next time.